back to Nowhere Near Done. This is part 2 of my conversation with Jenny Schatzle. If you listened to part 1, you know we got into body image, diet culture, GLP-1s, and the complicated relationships so many women have with their bodies in midlife. In this episode, we go even deeper into hormones, HRT, relationships, motherhood, and the ways perimenopause can affect not just how we feel physically, but how we show up in our lives and families. You'll also hear us reference Andrea Strand, the nurse practitioner we both see at Ramos Women's Wellness Center under Dr. Suzanne Ramos. Andrea specializes in women's hormones and perimenopause care, and she's also a guest on the podcast. So if you haven't listened to that episode yet, definitely go back and check it out. And Dr. Ramos herself will be joining the podcast in the future as well. This conversation feels like a continuation of something so many women are quietly trying to navigate: how to care for ourselves while also breaking cycles and creating healthier conversations for the next generation. Here's part 2 of my conversation with Jenny Schatzle. When we're talking about perimenopause, when we're talking about treatment, we all have different symptoms. The severity of our symptoms can be different when we're heading into perimenopause.
It's funny. I have a group of friends that are older and I have a group of friends that are younger. And all my younger friends who are like 42, 43 are like, I don't know yet. And I'm like, you're not there yet.
Right.
You're going to know.
Totally.
And all these symptoms are so real. So really quick, my perimenopause journey, I went to 5 different doctors, all the symptoms. So I have a husband that I love so much. This man is my biggest cheerleader. He is like, you want to change careers? Yes, you need to be doing more in the world. You need to be helping more women. We're going to make this work. I mean, he's incredible, does all the things. I could not stand him. And I felt horrible. And he's listening to perimenopause podcasts. Like, he's so supportive. And I'm like, don't touch me. Don't talk to me. And I didn't want to live that way.
Yeah.
Also, I had gained a bunch of weight. I felt really uncomfortable in my body. I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
It was all the things. I was having really bad anxiety. For me, perimenopause, and I haven't heard a lot of women say this, felt like postpartum.
Yes.
For me, that's how I knew it was hormonal.
Okay.
I was having really weird anxiety around terrible things happening to the kids that happened to me when they were babies.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep. I'm waking every day up every morning at 3:00. I did not yet have, and I still really haven't had, like, vaginal dryness. I always had night sweats my entire life. So
Right.
that was like just a thing I had. I went to 5 different OBs. Every doctor wanted to put me on birth control and an antidepressant.
Yes.
I'm not saying that birth control is wrong. Just in my gut, I did not want to be on birth control.
Right.
It was a personal gut instinct.
Yeah.
And then so I went to 5 different OBs, and then I went to MIDI Health. And in 5 minutes, they were like, yeah, whatever you want, I'll give it to you. So then I was like, well, that doesn't feel right either.
Right.
Nope,
Yes.
you didn't even ask me, like, what's my history? Like, literally it was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that another gut reaction. I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Right.
Normally, I actually am somebody that's like, oh, you're a doctor, you know I should listen to you. And around this specific thing, I saw 5 different OBs.
Yeah.
That's actually not really usually what I do.
Okay.
But I have this gut instinct, like, this isn't what I want.
Yeah.
And this isn't the path I want to take.
Uh-huh.
And so I kept going, and it led me to the person I needed to be with. It's Dr. Ramos, who was my OB.
Yes.
She's going to get really mad at me for saying this, but I'm going to say it. Dr. Ramos did a perimenopause, menopause talk. When I went to Dr. Ramos when I was like 42 and my period started changing, she was like, yeah, I just don't think you're there yet. It's fine. So I actually went to the talk to be like, hey, like, I don't feel like I was supported. During that talk, she did say, I will admit, I wasn't fully, I don't know if it was educated or I wasn't fully there yet. And I am now. I actually really respect that in a doctor, the fact she stood up there and was like, I've changed my ways. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm here for this. Once Drea spoke, I was like, oh, I'm going to go see her.
Yes.
And so when I went to see her, first of all, she was like, everything you're saying is valid. Even the anxiety, there was my specific anxiety. I felt very seen and heard, and like I wasn't making this up. We went through all the things, and we started at so I am on HRT.
Yeah.
We started at a very low dose, and it was helping, but not like crazy. So sidebar, ladies, when you start all of this, keep a journal.
Yeah.
Keep a journal. I mean, and I keep it in my purse.
Yeah.
For how you're feeling, and just like, I'll just like, it's not a big deal, just a little sentence. And so, and she switched me to a cream.
Okay.
Instead of a patch.
Interesting. For the estrogen.
For the estrogen.
Okay.
Because when I upped it, like the patch I got was too big. I was doing hot yoga a lot. It was falling off.
Okay.
Anyway, so she's like, let's do cream. And then I'm now on 200 milligrams of progesterone. It is changed my freaking
Mm.
life. Okay, so
Yeah.
then after talking to you,
Uh-huh.
I go in and, I'm sure these doctors love it now because people are like, well, listen to this podcast, so now I want to get on.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and so I listened to a podcast about testosterone, and
Uh-huh.
you had told me because my sex drive was
Uh-huh.
gone
Yeah.
and I want to be a sexual person. So, um, I went in, I was like, give me all the things I want testosterone. And she was
Yeah.
like, hold up.
Mhm.
I'm not going to give you all the things because if I give you all the things, we're not going to know what's working and what's not.
Uh-huh.
Again, this is the response I want from a doctor.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
so I am not on testosterone. I am going to
Mhm.
say it is the next thing I want to do.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But also I want to add too. So in the beginning of all this, and not Drea, another doctor had put me on an antidepressant, which I'd never been on. And I talked to so many women that were on it. I will say it took my anxiety away, but it also numbed me out.
Yes.
It took away my spark,
Mhm.
and it really killed my sex drive.
Yeah.
And so after I think 4 months, I was like, this is not for me. This is not the way I want to go.
Mhm.
And so we talked about that. And I will say the progesterone,
Mhm.
upping my progesterone at night has been a game changer.
It's crazy, right?
It is crazy.
Felt that too.
So also,
All of a
okay,
sudden, my sleep was like
this
a deeper sleep than I had felt since probably before I had kids.
100%.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually sleeping.
Mhm.
I couldn't get up in the morning.
I started out doing the HRT because I was in your same boat. I was feeling like I was snapping at everyone. I had absolutely no patience for anybody. I describe it all the time as feeling like a rubber band that has been pulled super tight so that I always had that feeling of just being stretched really, really thin. And so any tiny little thing just snapped. And I hated that feeling all the time. And then also for me, and what started in my late 30s was this joint pain. I had this crazy severe joint pain that my doctor sent me to all these different specialists actually to test for rheumatoid arthritis. They tested me for different gut health issues because they thought maybe it was something to do with gut health and inflammation in your joints, all of these things. So my biggest problems were really pain and feeling really uncomfortable, not sleeping, all of those things. Um, so I started out with the HRT, and that did help a lot with a lot of the symptoms. It was a combination of the HRT, but then also what I noticed more specifically with the GLP-1s, it helps with inflammation. So I felt much better in my body. I started running again, and I was able to run distances again that I hadn't run in a long time. What I have found is that the the running and the weight training, I have a very different mindset about it, the movement part of it that I wasn't able to do, and now I'm able to do it again. I just have this deep appreciation of what my body can do that I never had before. That feels really good. If you're going to your doctor and they're dismissing you for whatever reason with around menopause, perimenopause.
Next.
Exactly. What I love about Drea is it's not about one thing fits all. She talks to you about nutrition. She talks about mental health, wellness. She talks about, I mean, it is the whole person, the whole body.
I will say for me, it's been in the last 5 months since upping my progesterone.
Uh-huh.
I will say sleep is the game
Oh,
changer.
I love that.
It's the number one.
Uh-huh.
And since in the last 5 months, she upped my progesterone to 200 milligrams a night, I'm sleeping, like you said, like I
Mhm.
haven't. And it is, I'm waking up, I'm not groggy, I'm eating nutrient dense food.
Mhm.
I'm, again, like you said, I'm taking way better care of my body.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how shitty I was feeling because I wasn't getting sleep.
Mhm.
And it goes everywhere. Like we need to focus more on what are we doing
Mhm.
that our body is not agreeing with.
Yeah.
So I really took a look at that. Like,
Mhm.
what's keeping me stuck?
Yeah.
I'm laying in bed, binge watching Netflix,
Mhm.
eating chips
Okay. Yes.
because I'm trying to numb out from my life.
Right. Yes.
That is not a habit that's serving me.
Right.
Okay. Uh,
I mean,
I mean,
debatable.
do,
We
so I actually have a tool
No.
for that too. I do have a tool
Okay.
because I believe we
Yeah.
all need to like relax and
Yes.
do the thing.
Totally.
But
Yeah.
it's like, okay, if I'm gonna watch a show or I wanna watch 45 minutes of something, I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
set a timer. I'm gonna watch that one show
Mhm.
and I'm going to make myself turn it off and then I'm gonna read for 20 minutes.
Nice.
So I take one thing that maybe like I want to do, but
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily serve me, or I take it to the extreme
Uh-huh.
and then I combine it with something that I know like helps me sleep better,
Nice.
which is 20 minutes of reading,
Yeah.
right? So I don't drink because I'm sober, but let's
Uh-huh.
say somebody's like, I want a glass of wine, but I
Uh-huh.
have a bottle. Well, first of all, if you can't stop at a glass of wine,
Uh-huh.
you can't have a glass
You
of
should
wine.
probably not be
You should
drinking.
probably
Right.
not be.
Totally.
So,
Uh-huh.
like my husband, so he's like, he's really cut down his drinking. So he has a beer,
Mhm.
and then I make him like a hot tea,
Nice.
or we have a hot tea together,
Yeah.
which sounds ridiculous, but it's like you have the thing that you want.
Well, and a lot of times it's ritual.
It's ritual.
Yeah.
And then now we've had this ritual of like, oh, we enjoy like a hot glass of lemon water or a tea together. And it actually like relaxes you.
Mhm.
It's a way for us to connect.
Mhm.
So doing the thing that maybe you want to do paired with something that you
Yeah.
know is gonna benefit
I
you,
love that.
that's a little tool,
Yeah.
especially for the nighttime.
And that's tricky in
And
this
as
case.
moms,
That's what I was just gonna.
we call it the revenge stay up.
Uh-huh.
And it's become a thing where it is. It's like you're going so hard all day
Mhm.
that it's the only time you have for yourself. But if you're like trying to put yourself to bed at 9 and the next thing you know, it's midnight
Yeah.
because you're like, this is the only time, but it's not serving you.
Right.
And also, that's a wake up call
Mhm.
that your health habits during the day are not as healthy as you think.
That makes
So if
sense.
I have no other time
Mhm.
except for 9 o'clock and I have to stay up till midnight just to get my time,
Mhm.
what's going on during the day?
No matter how helpful your partner is, no matter how much you kind of share responsibilities, somehow a lot of the mental load, women carrying all of these invisible
We 100% do.
chores.
But it's everything. It's like even my husband, he'll do some of the paperwork at school, but let's be honest, like we're keeping
Yes.
we got to go to dance. We got to do this. We got to
Yeah.
do that. And the mental load, like if
Mhm.
we stopped doing everything, the shit would fall
Oh,
apart.
completely. The other day I ran into a friend. We were commiserating about there being so much going on all the time and just keeping it all together, especially right now in perimenopause when your brain is like
And our
all
world is on
on
fire.
fire. It's just the fact that there are so many invisible things that we are dealing with on a daily basis that, yes, exactly that. It, nobody notices it, but if you were gone, everyone would notice.
I have twins and when they were babies,
Mhm.
and my husband's a firefighter, so he's gone a lot. And so I didn't realize how much I needed just validation from him. I I broke down one day and he's like, "What is going on?" I'm like, "I am doing all these things
Mhm.
that on a daily basis don't get seen. They're not
Yeah.
appreciated,
Yep.
but like I'm keeping this house running."
Yeah.
And then you come home and I feel like, I mean, what's it all for? Of course, we're raising humans and all the things. And he was
Uh,
like, "You're absolutely right." I do think as women, we need to be having more honest conversations with our husbands.
yes.
We do everything to a point where we don't allow them to do it.
Mhm.
And then when they do it, it's not the way that we do it. So we
Mhm.
get even more frustrated and we're already irritated.
Right?
So
Yeah.
we're like, oh, it's just easier if we do it.
Mhm.
But that's also us having to work on like, we got to let go of having it done our way or the
Mhm.
right way. Went to the doctor with the kids just a couple months ago. And so I'm checking out and they're like, here's the number on file. And it was Connor's number. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's my husband's. Yeah, make him. And it was three women sitting in the office as we're checking out. They all stopped what they were doing. They turned around and they said, wait, you want to make your husband the primary?
Uh-huh.
And I said, yeah, I do. You guys should call him. He's the other parent.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, what year are we in? 2026?
Right? Uh-huh.
And they're like, that's
That's
not what we normally hear.
uh,
And I'm like,
uh-huh.
well, we should change that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, he's 50% of this
Yes. Well, and
relationship.
I think that's exactly it. Here we are trying to talk about changing the conversations. Most of the time, the husband does want to be supportive and
Yes,
helpful. And the complaint is that your partner's like, yeah, I want to help you. How can I support you? Just give me a list of all the things that you want me to do. And that's then one more thing that you
100%.
have to do
100%.
in order for them to help you, which then makes it easier
But
to just
even
not.
having that conversation with your
Yes.
spouse, sitting down, doing a date night where you're not
Uh-huh.
actually out talking about the kids, you're talking about this. And this is how I also always talk to my husband in a way of instead of being like, you don't do this,
Mhm.
you don't do that. Cause when we're pointing the finger
Uh-huh.
and we're attacking immediately, no matter who you're talking to,
Yes, the defensive.
your spouse, your friend, your parents, their wall goes up.
Mhm.
When you come from a place of like, I'm really struggling
Mhm.
and I need your help, boom, they are open.
Yeah.
Because most people do want to help,
Yes.
especially our spouses.
Right.
And, and it is difficult for me to let go of how I want it done, but
Mhm.
I'm going to work on that.
Yeah.
Right. So now I'm giving him permission to do it how he needs to do it.
Mhm.
And also, like, it is hard for me to tell you what to do. I just wish you would do it.
Right.
Let's work together on that.
Yeah.
And just really having these
Mhm.
open communications.
That was part two of my conversation with Jenny Schatzle. And honestly, I just feel really grateful to have women like Jenny in my life, not only as friends, but as mentors and role models too. One of the things I'm most excited about with Nowhere Near Done is bringing more of these conversations to the podcast with women who have deeply impacted my life in different ways. And I hope you have that circle too. Those women you can have those honest, messy, meaningful conversations with. And if you haven't found your sisters yet, I hope this podcast can be a space where you feel seen, validated, and a little less alone in whatever season of life you're navigating. So if this episode resonated with you, make sure you're following the show and stay tuned because there are some really powerful conversations coming up. And if you know someone who might need to hear this episode, share it with them too. Because the more we openly talk about these things, the less alone we all feel. And you are nowhere near done. We'll see you next time.